Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ash. I'm here with Jessica, and we're going to be doing some channeling this afternoon. Jessica is what they call a trance channeler, so she can bring energy through from the other dimensions, and it's I got a great deal of intelligence to it. And we're going to do this kind of like an interview session where I'm going to ask some questions and kind of do all the left brain analytical stuff, and Jessica's going to flow and let that information come through, and we'll see what we can learn today. All right, Jessica, over to you.
Hello,
Hello,
we love you
Nula.
so much. Hello, Ash. Hello, everyone. We love you. Thank you so much for being here. When you get an opportunity to do something and it doesn't work out, it's always because there is something better. It's always because it is happening for you. It's always because it is for your benefit. And when you choose to see it that way, that is what happens in a way you can't even imagine. As you walk on your planet and you look up at the night sky, you see all the different planets. You hear of the different planets. And these planets, they are bringing things to you. They're showing you things within yourself. You're not separate from these planets. These planets, everything here, every rock, every grain of sand, every flower petal, everything is talking to you. Every person that you have ever encountered, ever. Every place that you go, what happens there, what doesn't happen there. Everything is speaking to you. The silence is not silence. Silence speaks. And when you finally become silent, this is when you can hear what you really need to hear. The planet Venus is moving around your planet. And if you're silent enough, you can see what she is speaking to you. The way that the planet Venus moves, if you trace the movement of this planet, forms a rose. And the rose is a symbol on your planet of love, of beauty. And when you make yourself move as the planets do, as one, when you make yourself be in a frequency as this planet Venus does, of love, you will see beauty unfold. This is what starts to happen when you follow your passion. When you see something so beautiful, when you feel something so remarkable in your soul, and all of your movements align as one and move as one, like the planet Venus, where every step you kiss the earth, you kiss existence, every movement, every thought, every expression, how you see everything around you all aligns with this passion, with this love. This is the way. This is the way. Through the darkness, through the space, through the loneliness, isolation, silence, fear. This is the only way. The only thing that matters is love. And in these changing times, You will see this is all happening so you will choose love. And so you will be presented with the most miraculous gift to be existing as what you really are, which is love.
Hmm. Thank you for that, Nula. So question comes to mind. Why do we come into these incarnations with a sense of separation where we really have, or many of us have, no feeling of direct connection to everything that is? How is that a benefit? One would see that from our perspective as being a fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you are everything, you can't see what it is that you are. It's like the sun is so very bright. Sun can't see her own brightness. The sun is just shining. Everything out there just there's nothing else to see. When the sun shines upon the earth, now there is a way to understand aspects of the sun. When the sun shines on the moon, then we can see different aspects of different things. So you come here, you think you are separate, because in a way you are. You are not completely separated, never, but there is an illusion of separation so that an experience can be had, so that you can understand a piece of what you are, a portion. And in all these collective experiences and all these collective incarnations, separations in a way, you get to experience different aspects of yourself. And some of those aspects show you parts of yourself, like the sun shining on the earth and what this causes. And some of this shows you aspects of other things, like the moon. We're seeing portions of the moon because of the sun's light. So we see how we interact with others, with other things, with outsideness. But that is only so we can see and uncover that we really are everything and nothing is separate. No one is separate from us. Everything is happening within you, and you are everything. You're just experiencing a portion so that you are able to actually have an experience, so that you can grow, so that you can uncover more. It is the gift of discovering existence, discovering creation, the gift of unfolding as creation. It is a greater gift than just being everything. It is getting to create everything. You are given such a gift that you are everything, but you can choose to be absolutely nothing if you want. And that is a gift. So it's never, ever too late. It is never something that cannot be turned around. It is always for your benefit.
Hmm. So if everything exists in the now, are we actually creating anything, or are we just viewing something from one particular aspect, but it already exists anyway, or it's already been created? I'm trying to understand that concept.
Everything is occurring right now. Everything is unfolding, is happening right now. And we get to incarnate and experience the creation. Both are true. You are creating it, but it is already created. It's always true.
Hmm.
Much like the yin yang symbol. You can look at the white part. You can look at the black dot. You can see the shape of the white dot because of the black part, and vice versa. But you can also scale back and understand that you can switch between the two as needed. This is what's happening. You're switching between it already being done. That's you in the non-physical. It's already all happened, but it's all happening right now. And when you incarnate, you get to experience a separation, an illusion of creating, an illusion of time, an illusion of building something. It's a piece of a whole, but you are always whole.
Mhm. So just trying to understand that. So it's if everything exists and has been created, we might experience a certain path with our choices and have different aspects of that discovery come forward. But the fundamental reality, let's say, has already been created. So it begs the question, um, what is the point of trying to grow or become more than we are if reality already exists and is? We're going through the experience of it, but we're not fundamentally creating anything in my understanding.
You are the creator. You are creating it.
Hmm.
It is a creation. The beginning of planting a seed and watering the seed every single day, looking at that seed every single day and watching it grow, watching the stem grow, watching the flowers grow, watching the winter come and the plant go dormant, and the next spring watch it revive, the whole life of that plant, and then the illusion of death. The plant energy becomes non-physical. All of that is happening at the same time because there is no time, but we are creating it. You are still making the choice to plant that seed and to water it. You are still an active participant creating it. This is the thing, you're trying to create a separation where there is none. The plant is just as much the seed as it is the non-physical energy that carries on after the death of the plant. There is not a separation between non-physical and physical. You incarnated because you chose to have the experience of this illusion, to understand what you are, because you can't look and see what you are when you are everything. You need an illusion of separation to comprehend aspects of self. And a way to do that is to experience this illusion of separation through time, through creating. You are creating and you are the creator. It is something that it's like falling, it's like a dance. You, an existence, it's an unfolding. You're trying to put a limitation on something that doesn't have a limitation. It's not either or, it can be both. And you can switch back and forth between it being done and between the creation of it. That is the gift of existence.
Hmm. And so how does time factor into that? Because the only way from from a physical standpoint or from a three-dimensional standpoint, the only way we would experience something is through time and space as there is movement and change that we can observe. But if there is no time and everything exists in the now, then that would indicate that all things have happened at once and exist. So the plant that grows to become go dormant in the winter is the same plant that would die as a seed in a different parallel reality, as I would understand. So all things could be possible in the moment. Is that a correct understanding?
Yes, and you get to choose what you are a part of, what you are, by what you sync up to, by what you are a frequency matched to.
Hmm.
Time is an illusion that you create when you incarnate. It is something that everyone on your planet has chosen to sync up to before entering this incarnation, but that is something that is changing, and people are noticing that because you do experience timelessness when when you're following your passion. When someone is painting and they're painting from their soul, they love this. They are lost in time. They have no idea what is going on around them, what time it is, what day it is. Beings on your planet have experienced this with meditation. They are so passionate about meditation, about connecting, that they experience no time. So, to follow your passion, to be in that energy of love, that is the energy of the divine. That is the energy of that which you are. And when you're incarnated here and you choose to be of that energy, this is why you've experienced the sensation of timelessness, because you're getting closer to what you really are. You're getting closer to experiencing what really is, which is that you are love. You are creating whatever you want. Whatever you desire, you can have it. And when you are one with love and you allow all your actions, all of the way you orchestrate your energy to align with this, you see the truth that you are timeless, that you are love. And this will continue to progress. More and more are waking up, are discovering this as a new definition of what it means to be human. And it's beautiful. But you have to choose that within your being to experience that.
Hmm. So let's just explore the concept again, going with the concept of time and everything being in the now. Why is there, we talk about incarnations, why do we have incarnations? Because that sort of uh, points to the fact that there is time and there is some progression, and we come back in a sequential manner to learn or to experience different things. So seems to go in contradiction to the concept of everything being in the present moment.
That is just how you are experiencing it right now as a human, because you haven't gotten to the frequency point level of being at that higher vibration where you are love, where you see in your beingness that all is one. But many on your planet have had near-death experiences. And in these experiences, you will see that people are passing away. They can be in the hospital room looking down at their body. They can be miles away looking at their children, what they are doing in the house. They can be on the other side of a country, on the world, witnessing what their mother is doing at that time. And they can be conversing with spirit guides. They can have a life review. They can speak to different spiritual beings. They can go to the place to review all their lives, other incarnations, why they chose to come here. And they're only pronounced dead for 5 minutes because you are multidimensional being. But when you come here, you are accepting the limitation. You are accepting incarnating into a limitation. You are accepting the appearance of separation, the appearance of time, so that you get to discover that which you already are. It is a gift. Much like a child, a baby, they don't know what they are when they are born. And one day you see them look at their hand and marvel. And if you put a mirror in front of them at a particular age, they start to realize, that's me. This is what you're doing. Illusions have been put in place to give you a gift, to realize all that you actually are.
So I'm thinking about, in my case, I feel like I'm always in my head. I'm a very logical person, and I would, make decisions using logic and rational choice. Um, how does one? I feel like from the explanations, that's being embedded in this body and experiencing this body in its fullness is having that mental awareness. How does that change when we move to these higher frequencies of love? How does that perception then change? So we're more in that sort of heart state or astral state as you've described.
Your mental body, when you are born, is something that takes over to keep you alive, to keep you surviving. I always thought that the soul lived in here, but it lives in here. The mind is a vessel for the soul, is a way for you to perceive this realm, this incarnation, and is a way for you to connect what your soul is guiding you to and what you incarnated into. When you are passion, when you are love, there's something very interesting that happens because you're connecting with all that is, so you don't need the mind to get in the way, but instead the mind works for you. When someone is in the zone and working and going and working and everything is flowing, and they catch this and they catch that, there's something here to trusting and being in a flow. It's like a current. But if you're not going to trust this soul, if you're not going to trust this current, when you're not in alignment, it is better to have the mind to keep you alive. And after experiencing such limitation, there is nothing more free. When someone has been imprisoned their entire life, and that's all they know, and then they're free, wow. Now they know freedom. They feel freedom. So this was a gift that you chose to experience, you and your guides. So this would be the best way for you to experience the creation of what you really are. Every soul is different. So every soul gets to experience different aspects, different levels of their mind.
And does one, between incarnations, is that understanding sort of passed on at a soul level, or is that understanding retained at a soul level, or does one sort of start at the beginning and go through a completely different understanding of things from whatever the choice of that incarnation was? I'm thinking in the person of somebody might come back and be a murderer, let's say, or commit some sort of heinous crimes against humanity. How does that soul sit in relation to uh, the learnings through incarnations? Or is it just coming to experience being that heinous person to bring about some other change or awareness in others? I'm not sure.
Can be multiple things, yes. You are the meaning givers of life. It doesn't have a meaning. Unconditional love. Everyone is love. Everything is love. And here, incarnating on earth, you're going to get a direct response to the vibration that you are. The way that you can vibe, the frequencies that are available to you are a much broader range than other places where people incarnate, where souls incarnate. When you incarnate on earth, we're getting to the point here. This is where you're at, and you're going to experience that. So everything that happens is fair. And each soul that incarnates, there are reasons that we cannot see as to why they are that way. And sometimes immense darkness wakes up when there is a natural disaster on your planet. something happening in a park. This is when you might see a young woman running over to help a mother with her 5 small kids, a man stopping to help an elderly man can barely walk. Something to be said about things that happen and the beauty that wakes up within. Sometimes darkness happens, and it is a blessing because it wakes you up to the fact that you are light. And sometimes there are cases where souls continue to choose dark paths. And in between incarnations, they do see a review. They are put with beings to guide them. And they have choices to make for the next incarnation. But the heaviness, the darkness, what you do when you're incarnated, you don't just do it and that's done. It stays here in the vibration of Earth. And when you incarnate again, you do face that. Unless, of course, this was something that was planned before you incarnated. Like in the case of someone incarnating and being a murderer, to wake up those, to allow people to be the light. Yes, that happens too. You don't have to worry about that because nothing can happen that you're not a frequency match to.
So the last statement though would indicate that, or seem to suggest that only people that were in a really dark state would ever be murdered, that you would never have anybody being a victim that was in a higher vibrational state. Am I misunderstanding that?
In a way, yes, or that they consented to it before, but you wouldn't be, they wouldn't be of a higher frequency. They would be in a lower frequency. And they do have a choice out of it. And it's with their frequency. But when you incarnate, you are experiencing a portion, not a whole. You choose how much of your beingness to incarnate with. And this allows you to learn about different aspects of self. This is why souls incarnating, they are experiencing a darkness. It's not all that they are. It never is. Everyone is unconditional love. Only. It's like a forest. And there's all these creatures in the forest. And you can experience being the rabbit. Can experience being the hawk. And you also get to a place where you're one with all the beings in the forest. All the creatures. Of course, the rabbit can be prey for the hawk. But the rabbit will not be prey unless they are a vibrational match to that occurring. But they can incarnate with a specific plan in place to experience that. low vibration for many reasons. But even though that was the plan, when they incarnate, they still have will over what their vibration is. So they can be of a higher vibration to not experience that, which would mean that they learned what came along with that occurrence in the first place. So there's no need for the occurrence. But all of humanity is not just one of the animals in the forest. We are all of the animals of the forest, all of the forest. And when you are of this higher vibration and you see this, you can be the rabbit when it is called for. You can be the hawk when it is called for. You can be the flower when it is called for, the river when it is called for. And being non-physical is really that. There are other worlds where beings can be physical, they can be non-physical, they can be all that they are, they can be a portion of what they are, and they don't need the extremes of frequency to experience it with such devastation or joy. Becomes more stable in bliss. And incarnating on earth, it's like a fast track. It's like an extreme way to get your wish, to be the expression that you really are.
Just coming back to a statement you made earlier about if there was something, somebody does something that's uh, out of a dark vibration or a lower frequency. Let's say they kill another person out of anger, and you said that's retained in the earth, and they have to face that again when they come back. Do they face it individually, or are you saying that this is collectively humanity now has this vibration that that they would face when they came back? Because this keys into a concept of karma. That's something else we can explore in a minute.
If a soul kills another soul, when they incarnate again, there is an energy of facing what they have done. But this depends upon that soul. Every soul is different. And why that happened, it's not as simple as you kill someone, so you incarnate and now you will be killed. No. Everything is a frequency, and that frequency happened for a reason. And if what is needed is gotten from that situation, that was planned before, then when that soul reincarnates, that soul will already know the way to be of a higher frequency. And then that will not happen. You can't look at the other beings on your planet and judge. You can't look at the other beings on your planet and say, this is their karma, this is what is happening. It includes so much more. It's like you're trying to look through the hole in a door, and you're just getting what's in front of that door. And actually, what's happening is not just the view through the tiny hole in the door, but is the view of all the world from every different perspective. It's way more complicated. It is an orchestration. But you don't just come here and do things and then that's it. Because your soul is incarnating to experience aspects of self. So when you're behaving in a way that is not of yourself, there is going to be a plan in place to come back and correct. But karma is not actually real because everything is an exchange of frequency. So the murderer actually helps because no one is a victim. That frequency is not true of that soul. When you see everything is talking to you all the time, everything is helping you, is showing you what you chose to be in here. So there is really no karma. There is the frequency that you are. And there is a much bigger orchestration happening here. And when you incarnate and you are not in alignment with what has been orchestrated for your soul, with what wish you chose, there will be corrections that will be made in the next incarnation. Mm-hmm.
So, in the current incarnation, do spirit guides and other non-physical beings assist in trying to re-guide or give the person that is committing things that are outside of their plan, let's say, committing violent acts? Is there anything that can kind of assist to bring them back on their path in terms of changing those experiences? Or again, I'm thinking of this with the three-dimensional physical through a lens, not necessarily the energetic lens.
Yes, you have free will, so they cannot act against your free will. However, there are ways that things happen. You know this on your planet, people get in an accident and they're not even a scratch on them. And there's no way they should have survived that. These sort of things happen all the time. So there is some leniency in the way that they can intervene, yes. But it doesn't, you're close enough in frequency for that to happen. They can override your free will. It would be pointless to do so. It would be pointless to do so. Because you came here to experience a peace, and your frequency choice is your experience of that peace. So if they fix it for you, you would just go back to the same frequency, the same thing would keep occurring. This is why I always say when something is meant to be, it's meant to be. When it's somebody's time to go, it's their time to go. And when it's not their time, it's not their time. But if your frequency, if you're setting it There's slip-ups that happen and they can intervene, okay? But for the most part, it's your frequency that is determining all. But they never leave you alone. They never abandon you. They're always with you. And they're always making sure that what is occurring is what has been planned, is what is for your benefit. They are constantly communicating with you. They are constantly orchestrating things to communicate with you. When you start to follow your heart, when you start to follow your passion, this is when they can really help you. Even if you feel despair, if you're choosing to look outside, just because looking outside gives you a little bit more peace, okay, they can work with that. You don't have to go all the way to joy, to bliss, to exuberance, but you must make a choice in that direction, and they will help you. They will always help you. They will always be right there with you, no matter what you choose. And there is no judgment, ever. When you ask, they can act more on your behalf. Yes. You have to stay a frequency match to see the full effects. And to do that every day, making the conscious choice to do things in a way, to choose in a way your beingness to be just a little bit happier, just a little bit more peace, what would bring just a little bit more excitement or joy. These little acts, do not underestimate them, because one day everything is unfolding for you and you're living in such joy.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that. So I'd like to conclude our session here. Is there any last words or anything you'd like to pass on to those that are watching at this time before we close?
You have so much more power than you think that you have. You are about to see what humans are really capable of. Love yourself. Love yourself and everything becomes easier. Love your soul. Love your body. Love what makes you uniquely you. That is what it means to be human, to exist in a state of love. It may seem daunting at first. It may seem like not much changes, and what's the point? But soon you will see you are not just a drop, you are the whole ocean. But when you see yourself as just a drop, you are being pulled to the top of a wave. You are being pulled down to the depths of the ocean where no light can go. You're in a hurricane, you're in a tsunami. How does that drop feel? Listen, when that is happening, you need to zoom out. You need to realize you're not just a drop. You are the whole ocean. And the whole ocean sees a hurricane, sees the depths of the ocean. They see it all with beauty. They see it all as love. They see it all as a part of them expressing a part of their self. And when you start to see life in this way, everything unfolds for you. All these powers out here that orchestrate the world, you are one with them. And then They get to act on your behalf, just like the drop now experiences being the whole ocean. They're experiencing a much different experience than when they just see themselves as this one drop. Consciousness gives you this choice as you incarnate to choose to be just the drop, to be the whole ocean. And you get to navigate between the two. So realize that's all that's happening is you get to experience the gift of discovering all that you are, of aligning with all that you are. And when you do, beautiful things unfold for you. You are so beautiful just the way that you are.
All right, Nula, thank you very much for those beautiful, inspiring, sacred words. That's some very
Thank you so
inspiring
much.
comments to try to absorb and understand. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Hmm, welcome back.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my
Hmm,
goodness.
that worked very well. I'll just, anything to say, and then I'll just to conclude the recording.
No. Thank you so much. Wow.